Rolling.
Scene 34, take one.
And action. Okay.
What you just saw was the first angle and the first take on our production of King Kong from May 9th, 2011, 10 years ago. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to this special video. And yeah, it's been 10 years since I started shooting this massive production. Now technically the movie was released in December 2016 to mark the 40th anniversary of the 1976 King Kong, but it's been 10 years since we began principal photography, and man has it been a ride. Now, we are planning a much more detailed documentary on the making of the film coming out later on in the year, but I did want to put out a video for the 10th anniversary and give you guys a bit of a tad bit of detail of what the documentary might eventually look like, as well as my perspective on the 10 years since we started shooting. First and foremost, I should start from the very beginning. I was exposed to the original King Kong, as well as the 1976 film and King Kong Lives on VHS with my uncles when I was 5 years old. At the time, I didn't think much of it, and I just thought they were fun little dinosaur movies, as well as having a giant monkey climb up a building. Years later, one of my first interests in filmmaking came from attending Universal Studios Florida in 1998 and riding the Kongfrontation attraction, which made the character much more real and actually scared the shit out of me. Aside from that experience, watching films like Star Wars and several documentaries at the time really sparked my interest in filmmaking, and I've been making movies since 1999, believe it or not. As the years went on as a kid, I started to learn more and more of the processes of filmmaking. Even before picking up an HD camera and making movies on that nature, I was mostly making films on shitty DVD cams and or the LEGO Studios program. In fact, some of my earliest videos on YouTube are on that format. But in 2009, I managed to get a brand new laptop with a brand new editing software, as well as my first HD camera, which was a Sony Handycam. At the time, I was visiting Universal Studios Hollywood in California and had taken tons of videos and pictures with my vacation. And at the time, yeah, I was a bit of a Kong fan, but I wasn't to the extremes as I was now. But it wasn't until riding the King Kong 360 3D attraction that I realized the character still had some relevance. And after watching the documentary on the canceled 1996 production and being fascinated with it, I felt, well, screw it. Why don't I make my first feature film a remake of King Kong with the technology that I have to my advantage? In September 2010, I started writing the first draft of the film, which I still own. Is over 200 pages long, with a lot of detailed back history and extended scenes. Right away, I went into pre-production and doing a ton of storyboards and animatics, as well as casting a lot of my high school buddies in the main leads. At the time, it was actually my last year in high school, and I was about ready to enter much more of an adulthood lifestyle. So I figured this was going to be a fun thing to do over the summer, to have sort of a final hurrah with all my high school buddies. That turned out not being the case. Okay, before I get into the details, I should point out that aside from the script and storyboards, I actually did have a ton of pre-production meetings with the cast during lunchtimes in high school. It was actually a good time to all gather at a table and essentially go through the storyboards one by one and discuss the aspects and how we shot the production. To be honest, from September 2010 to May 2011, that was pretty good pre-production for the time we had. Which led us to the first day of shooting. I remember it very thoroughly. It was a weekend where we all gathered at my place down the hill by a large pond, which mostly during the winter is used for kids for hockey practice. But I figured it was a perfect location to shoot the swamp scene, which was honestly the first scene I thought could be shot. It was a good chance for everybody to get into their characters, as well as an easy scene to shoot regarding dialogue. A lot of the actors were nervous, but I was determined to essentially get the first scene in the can on day one. Though, to be honest, that wasn't the case, as this feature was very much a learning curve for everybody. We came back to the production every other weekend, and I figured I would have the film released in March 2013, just in time for the 80th anniversary of the original King Kong. But that also turned out not to be the case. We spent weekend after weekend shooting for almost 2 years. And when summer was over and we couldn't shoot outside in the lush green jungle environments, we would actually have to hunker down on the garage and shoot green screen footage in the winter times as sort of wet cover sets. The only thing we were lacking during that time was a female lead, which we didn't get until 2013 with the amazingly talented Sylvana Boonstra handy. Though a great learning experience for me and what it took to make a feature film, I'm not gonna lie in saying principal photography regarding not having an actress handy was extremely stressful. There were even times I wanted to quit the movie altogether, but I had gotten to the point of no return that I couldn't really look back. But once Sylvana came onto the picture in year 3, things went a lot easier. And to this day, I have a lot of fun memories working on the film, and talking with the cast again recently, we all look back and really want to make more projects down the road and have real admiration for the work we did, as well as the success it's gotten. Seriously, it's almost at 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would discuss the first day more thoroughly, but I want to save that for a day where I can reunite with the cast. We were going to have a reunion this weekend, but as of this date in 2021, with the COVID pandemic still happening, we want to wait till things die down a little bit in order to have a proper reunion. So this is just me putting out a little video on the 10th anniversary of the first day of shooting, and kind of giving you guys a little preview of what's to come in this documentary we're working on. So there you have it, day 1 of shooting. It was a lot of fun to do, and overall, working on that remake of King Kong is one of the highlights of my career, and I'll never forget every day of production and the good and bad times that went through it. So, until the next video guys, like, comment, subscribe, I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, and here's to our detailed documentary on the making of the film, coming soon.